Hello, welcome to Revive and Rise. This is your host, Melody Parrish, and we have a very, very special guest with us today, Michelle Dickinson, the founder of Resilience Visionary, burnout interventionist, a TED and keynote speaker, author, and consultant based in New Jersey. And Michelle, I want to thank you for coming on and chatting with us for a bit.
Amazing. Thank you so much for finding me, for having me. I'm thrilled to be here with you, Melody.
Great. And so I know you talk a lot about resilience, and we're going to have a practical, not clinical conversation today and talking about different strategies and techniques that you have when we experience burnout or other struggles.
Amazing. Yeah, it's what I do every day. I've been so fortunate to get to coach and teach so many people simple strategies to help themselves stay healthy, stay balanced, and avoid burnout.
Oh, great. And so if we're happen to have struggles, simple things like we're having a bad day or even more like we've lost an individual that's close to us or we've lost our job or something like that. Can you please tell us like how we would deal with that? What's some strategies to deal with those things?
So, we have a philosophy at Resilience as a Lifestyle that you don't have to wait to hit rock bottom to climb back and build resilience. We believe that we can do that every single day through our daily practices and our mindset. It's really hard when we go through life events, but if we can be building our toolbox and have strategies every day, then when stress and adversity shows up, we'll be able to just ebb and flow with them so they don't take us down. And that's the goal is we believe that we are what we repeatedly think and we are what we repeatedly do. So we have some practical strategies on what we can be doing every day to take care of ourselves and how we can shift our mindset. So happy to share whatever resonates with you.
Oh, I really love that you're proactive. It's so important because when you're in those situations, you feel like it's so hard to do anything positive when you're in that point. So, can you tell us a few things? I've heard of like the positive self talk, but you have more things about the mindset.
Absolutely. So I know this firsthand because I've dealt with seasonal depression and I went through a really hard time in my life when I was getting divorced and I lost my job all in the same week. I had to figure out like how am I going to help myself. So the very things that I'm teaching my clients, I live every day. Otherwise, I wouldn't be in a good place. So and I would be a fraud. Let's just be honest. So, what I teach people are the things that I do to help me take better care of myself. And I learned them when I went through those dark moments. And having the good fortune of getting to coach over 5,000 hours of different walks of life, folks from education to the corporate setting, I've also learned from them what are the most effective strategies. What are the things that work the most to help them, and so I can share some of them with you. So I said two things. I said, you are what you repeatedly do, and you are what you repeatedly think. So let's start with you are what you repeatedly think mindset, right? Now, this is a very practical perspective. If you start to look at life's adversity as life happening to you, that's a very different experience if you look at stress or adversity that shows up and you look at it as, and you're curious to say, how is this here to serve me? What is this here to teach me? Two very different, it's difference between growth mindset and fixed mindset. Um, so I like to ask people that fundamental question because we know every day we're going to deal with some type of adversity or stress. It's coming. It's coming from work, it's coming from home, it's coming from relationships. So why not start to ask yourself in those moments where you didn't want the adversity to show up, what could this possibly be here to show me? And in adversity, it's revealed to us our capacity to have resilience. If we didn't have that challenge, we wouldn't realize what we're capable of. So that's the first step, is really looking at adversity and stress differently. And then you are what you repeatedly do. So if we want to start to have good days, we have to ask ourselves, how are we nourishing and filling our own cup? Especially people who play the role of caregiver, always giving to other people. You can't fill from an empty cup. So you have to be thinking, what can I be doing to help myself with my energy and help myself mitigate the stress that's coming? So it's our daily practices. It's the simple things like, did I get enough sleep? Am I drinking enough water? Am I getting some movement in to get some fresh air? Am I connecting with people I love that are going to help me fan my flame and help me feel good? Just little things of taking inventory. So, those are some of the strategies that I like to share and like to remind people they have complete control over those two things: how they look at adversity and how well or not they're caring for their physical well being.
I love the way that you talk about looking at things differently. In my journey, I've also learned that a lot of people don't want to feel um, negative, what we call negative emotions, but it's really important to look and see what you learn from fear, anger, anxiety. Can you talk to us about, because maybe some people don't understand how to do those things, like how you would look at things differently?
So I want to give you a brain hack, because most people, listen, when we were born, you didn't get the user manual for your brain. Okay? So I'm going to give you a simple hack and help you understand. I have had so many people say to me, Michelle, I don't know why I'm always negative. I always look at things as half empty. I can't look at things. I can't just be positive. It's freaking hard. How do I do this thing? So the first thing I want you to remember is that the mind is not wired to make you happy. The mind is wired to protect you. So it's doing its job when it's constantly looking for everything that's wrong. So just get that for a minute. Like, just get that. And it's common. Like, I actually did this little exercise with myself. I woke up in the morning very refreshed from a good night's sleep, and right away my mind wanted to go to every problem that I ever had, right? And everything that I need to give attention to and everything that is frustrating, my mind organically went there because it's trying to protect me, right? So, what could you do, right? In that moment, you could, one, become the observer, take a step back and just recognize what your mind is doing, right? You're not your thoughts. But if you could take a step back and see that, then you have the power to shift that. And so, whatever we focus our attention on will always expand. So, if you were to sit there and continue to think about all the bad things, it's going to get bigger and bigger and bigger. However, if you stop in that moment and you say, no, I'm going to shift my focus over here, and I'm going to focus on three things, just three things that are going well in my life right now. What are three things going well in my life that I'm grateful for? Because we have this tendency to step over all the love and the abundance that's right in front of us to get to all the crap. So, gratitude is a superpower when it comes to hacking your brain and sitting in a space where you feel good because you're wallowing in what is the love and the gratitude that you do have in your life.
Oh, that's great. That's great idea because, I mean, yeah, a lot of times you do just get into that mindset and you start into this negative swirl and it just swallows you, it feels like. So that's a good point. Um Now, what could we do um to maybe think better of ourselves? I have trouble, I'm sure other people do as well. Like giving myself grace, giving myself love, and thinking that everything for others is okay for me. Does, does that make sense? Like if I give so much grace and love to others, I need to understand that that same grace and love I need to give to myself.
Oh,
But
yeah.
how do you do that?
Wow. Yeah. I mean, I think it all starts with the internal narrative that we have. And I ask people how they would treat their best friend. So that's like the first step is you could stop and ask yourself, would I treat my best friend the way I'm treating myself? Would I say the things I'm saying to myself, or would I give them grace? Would I be encouraging them to be gentler with themselves? So, what you would bestow on someone you love, you should be doing the same on yourself because you love yourself. So, absolutely checking in and just pausing and saying, all right, I would never expect my friend to push through and, not be supportive of them. I need to give myself that same love and compassion.
Yeah. Yeah, that's good. I sometimes I have this thing that I repeat to myself, I'm trying my best. That's all I can do. And
Yeah.
sometimes it seems like that's not good enough, but I have to remind myself that that's all I can do. That is good enough. It's just gonna have to be, right?
Yeah. And even if you came up with a mantra, like something as simple as like every day in every way, I'm trying harder. Every day in every way, I'm getting better. I'm better than I was yesterday. I'm getting stronger than I was yesterday. Right. And just keep reminding yourself that you are doing the best you can. And this is a journey. Right. And yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's great. These are great advice. Um, so what would you say are things I know people often think of things they can do to take care of themselves
Yeah.
as big things instead of just the little things like you were telling us. But how do we get our mind to think that the little things are good just as the big things are good?
The little things are very important. And I will start with something that I don't think is very little, but is if you were to tweak this, would make a huge difference for how much energy you have and how prepared you are to deal with stress of the day. And that is sleep, and I can see people listening to this podcast maybe rolling their eyes, but I want to get you to see sleep differently. If we know stress is coming, the only thing we have the power to do is be prepared to dance with it. Okay. But so often we are shaving time off of our sleep. Sleep is so important for restoring our body. And if you don't believe me, go to YouTube and look up Matt Walker, sleep scientist, TED Talk, and just listen to him explain to you why sleep is critical for longevity and vitality. Taking sleep seriously and getting 8 to 9 hours of sleep each night is going to create a different experience for you every day. Okay, so that's really important. The other thing I learned through the data in coaching so many clients was the average person sets themselves up for stressful days just simply how they start their day. So I say, don't fall into your day. Getting that good sleep is important so that you can actually get up on time. And instead of hitting snooze, catapulting out of the bed, stressed out, already at the effects of your day, you can get up and with some intentionality, sit down, maybe have a cup of coffee, maybe have a cup of tea, watch something that inspires you, but create 10 or 15 minutes just for you to say, this is how my day is going to go, because it will have a ripple effect how the rest of the day goes based on how you choose to start each day. And the goal here is to feel good. So having one good day at a time is going to lead to one good week at a time, and one good week is going to lead to a month. So start your day with a little bit of intentionality and give yourself just a little bit of time for you to fill your own cup before you go helping other people.
Oh, that's wonderful. And I like that, one day comes to a week and then that adds to a month. Now, I know that some people get discouraged. They'll do things for a day or two. And then when it falls apart because it's not a habit yet, they're like, oh, I just can't do it. I just can't do it.
Mhm.
Can you give our listeners maybe some ideas to prevent
Yeah.
that?
So discipline is really important, and being able to celebrate small wins is going to give you momentum to keep going. Years ago when I used to go to Weight Watchers, they had this image on the wall, and it said, if you tripped going up the stairs, would you pick yourself up and keep going, or would you throw yourself down the whole flight of stairs and say, I can't do it? No, you'd pick yourself up and keep going. So give yourself grace in moments when you don't do what you want to do. And the moment you start feeling good, I think that's also going to help you realize the value in continuing. So don't try to boil the ocean. The way my clients win in our partnership together is they're creating small micro changes that are going to yield them a huge result. But they're doing little things, right? Like going to bed by 9 or 10 o'clock at night, having a little 15-minute morning coffee for themselves before they go to work, exercising their body for 30 minutes, or if they don't have 30 minutes, going for a 15-minute walk. Little tiny things that you add to help yourself can yield big results.
Oh, that's so important. And I love that you're talking about like the 15 minutes instead of the 30 minutes because a lot of people, I mean, everybody's so busy now. And a lot of people feel like, well, I don't have like 10 or 30 or whatever minutes to dedicate there. So I'm just not going to bother. But that's not true, right? Every little bit helps. Is that correct?
So true. So true. 15 minutes. If you were consistent and you said 15-minute walks every day, you're going to see a big difference in your energy. You're going to see a big difference in your motivation. You may change that 15 minutes to 20 minutes next week. You don't know, but you have to start somewhere.
Yes, yes, you have to start somewhere. I love that. I love that. Well, is there anything else you'd like to share with our listeners? This has been great.
Yeah, I think, for a lot of people, what really helps them is having an accountability buddy. I know for me, my girlfriend and I, we work out every day together. And I know that she's going to be there. So if I don't go, I'm letting her down. So just consider an accountability buddy and try to do some of these things with your buddy, because that's going to help you stay disciplined. So yeah.
Okay, yeah, because discipline is very important, as you said,
Yeah.
right? Okay. Oh, I love this. Well, thank you so much, Michelle. I really, really appreciate it. And I know our listeners do too. And they're going to learn so much from this. And where you said you're a coach. So,
Yeah.
how do we get in touch with you or contact you if we're wanting more information or services?
My website is resilienceasalifestyle.com. And on the website, you'll see all my social media handles. I'm live on Instagram, on TikTok. I'm constantly pushing out resilience tips, inspiration. So you can hit me up there, or I'm on LinkedIn as well, Michelle E. Dickinson.
Okay. And you're an author of what book have you written?
Sure. I wrote a story about my bipolar mother, and it's a memoir, and it's called Breaking Into My Life, Growing Up with a Bipolar Parent and My Battle to Reclaim Myself. And it's on Amazon.
Okay. All right. Well, that's great. And I'm sure that that as well is filled with strategies and tips for us to handle adversity. So I want to thank you so much, Michelle. I really appreciate you coming and talking with us.
Thank
And
you
you're
for
more
having
than welcome anytime to come
me.
back and see us.
Absolutely. Just invite me back. Whatever you want to talk about, I'm happy to. Thanks for having me.
Okay. And I want to thank everybody for listening. And just remember that you do not have to suffer alone. Have a wonderful day.